Most people get foot pain because they can't transfer their body weight enough forward over their foot. Most people overpronate at their feet. Overpronation is when your foot collapses in too much. So when you transfer weight, you need to transfer weight forward and in. That enables you to transfer weight from your right leg to your left leg. Now, because most people overpronate, they're falling in too much and not coming enough forward. When you don't come enough forward, you don't engage all the muscles and structures of the foot like the toes. You don't use the muscles of the hip to come forward and decelerate your body over your foot, and you don't use the muscles of the calf effectively. So we're going to look at Alex. She has pain on her left foot, so we're going to assess her left side to see what we can do to help correct that so she can alleviate her foot pain. Hi Alex, do you want to come to the wall and do that runner's stretch for us? So straight away, all Alex is doing is taking this leg back so we can see how she transfers weight over that left side. And immediately, she has her left foot turned out. And we know if she's turning her left foot out, when she transfers weight from her left side to her right side, she's transferring weight across the inside of her foot. Now, I can see on Alex that she has a little bit of a callus on the inside of her big toe, and there's a little bit of inflammation on the first joint of her big toe. So if you're looking at your foot at home or in the gym and you see that you've got inflammation on the inside of the foot or a callus, it means you're transferring weight across the inside of your foot and not across your toes. So the first thing we're going to do is to get Alex to turn her foot straight. Does that feel a little bit tight now?
A little bit tight.
So she feels tight, and if she's walking, it means she's not going to transfer weight over that calf and over that hip because there's tension there, and her body's actually not going to want to go where there's tension, and it's going to try to get out of it, which is turning it this way. And when she turns it this way, turn her foot out, she's no longer coming over the foot correctly, and she's no longer coming over the hip. We want it to be like this so she can use those muscles to slow down stress to her foot. So let's do some quick exercises now, Alex, to loosen up those structures to see if it's going to help.
Okay.
The first thing we're going to do is roll a ball underneath your left foot. So she can do this standing. If she's got good balance, you need to hold on to the wall. She can do it seated. She can do it while she watches TV. She's going to do about a minute. If she has problems on both feet, so obviously you need to assess both sides, she would do both feet. The next exercise we're going to do is we're going to massage the muscles of the calf. So if you want to sit against the wall, at home you can do this sitting on the couch with your leg up on a coffee table. You don't need to support yourself, sit against the wall, relax. Put that ball underneath your left calf. She's going to bring the toes towards the shins to get a little bit of a stretch on that calf. If she wants to increase the weight, put your right leg on top of that. Is that okay or is it too much?
It's okay.
Good, perfect. If you need a little bit more tension, you can use a harder ball like a lacrosse ball or a baseball. That will increase the tension, but don't do it too much because we don't want to damage those structures. We just want to loosen them up so that they are more flexible to enable you to come correctly over your foot. So once you've loosened your foot up and loosened your calf up, we're going to loosen up the front of your hip.
Okay.
Do you mind lying down here on the mat?
No problem.
Let's get your head this end, and we're going to use that ball. I'm going to give it to you. You're going to put that on the front of your left hip.
Okay.
So now she's loosening up the hip flexors. Remember, the hip needs to be able to be loose as well so that she can come forward over the hip, over the ankle, so those muscles can slow down the stress as she transfers weight over her foot. So she's now she's got this on the front of her hip. She can go anywhere from beside the belly button all the way down, cross the hip and into the leg. And you see it feel a little bit of tension there?
A little tension. Yep.
Little tension. So she's going to spend 2 to 3 minutes finding any sore spots she can before she moves on to the next exercise. So now she's done a massage for the foot, the calf and the front of the hip. That's akin to chewing a piece of gum before you blow a bubble. You need to loosen it up, so do your massage first with a tennis ball before you move on to your stretches. Now we're going to move into a hip flexor stretch. So all she's going to do is kneel. And let's put your right leg forward. Good. Now she wants to go too far into that. If she goes too far forward, she's going to arch her back, and that can hurt the structures of the lower back. And her butt's actually not working now, so she has no muscles slowing her down into that. So back off a little bit. Just come up. Tuck your pelvis under. Great. Nope. Right there. Now tuck that pelvis under. Beautiful. Feel your butt work?
Yes.
Great. Now that butt is contracting to help stretch the front of the hip. Do you feel that stretch in the front of the hip?
I do.
So now her hips are more square. In fact, she's still a little bit off. Let's just get those hips square. Perfect. Do you feel that?
Yes.
And at home you can use a chair to balance with if you find this difficult to balance. So now we've massaged the structures all the way in this lower body. We've now stretched the hip. The last thing we need to do is stretch the calf and the foot, and we're going to go back to the assessment we did at the beginning, which is the runner's stretch. We're going to see if her foot's a bit straighter and if she can actually get into that stretch more effectively. Let's stand up and do that. So let's come into that. Perfect. And she's doing quite a big stretch here. Do you feel any tension in your lower back?
A little bit.
So if you go too far into this, because that's obviously way bigger step than you would take when you're walking or running, she may extend or try to take the leg back by arching her lower back. So let's take a smaller step. Great. Let's get that foot nice and straight. Tuck that hip under. Good. Do you feel a nice stretch?
I do.
Does it feel a little bit easier now?
Yes.
So if it feels easier, she's going to be more likely to transfer weight over that foot, over the hip correctly, not continually collapse inwards and strain the structures of her foot. So those are some very easy exercises you can do on a daily basis to help you come over your foot correctly versus always collapsing in, which can obviously lead to foot pain. I hope that helps, and I look forward to seeing you next time.